Hey there, Erin Chase here from $5 Dinners and My Freezy, and this is my new 5-minute meals show. If you don't believe me, stick around because I'm going to show you. We're going to actually make 2 meals in the span of 10 minutes, maybe a few extra minutes because I'm going to get a little chatty today about Zaycon Fresh and the boneless, skinless chicken deal that they have happening today and tomorrow that you need to know about. And since we have a chicken recipe here, that's absolutely perfect. So I'm going to tell you a little bit more about that here. If you're catching the replay, slide it forward just a little bit. We'll get to putting these 2 meals together in just a minute. I'm going to say hello to those who are here with me live. Happy end of 2017. Hit me up with some likes, some hearts if it's been a good year. It's been a good year for us. I think it also depends on your perspective. Even though hard things happen, bad things happen, really bad things happen, we can still have an attitude of gratitude and still try to see the positive in them while still hurting and grieving. We talked about that a little bit as a family this morning. So hit me up with some hearts and some thumbs up if you had a good year. And then if you're planning on having a good year next year, let me know that as well. I know we are as well. Happy New Year, Trisha. I'm so glad you're here. We are kicking off the new year with freezer meals, right? And another surprise that I'll tell you about tomorrow. And I want to share this with you because this is such a sanity saver, especially during busy seasons. And for me, the beginning of the year in our business is a really busy time, really busy. I worked 12 hours yesterday, Saturday, very end of the year. Part of it was year-end stuff. Part of it was getting ready for this New Year's stuff that we have happening, but it's just busy. But I love it. But I need help with dinner, right? We've had freezer meals the last couple nights, and I'm excited to get these 2 into the freezer for this coming week. And so here's how this works. 5 minutes for each recipe. Both of them are dump style recipes. So let me switch over. And as I'm talking about this, I'm going to tell you a little bit about this Zaycon Fresh deal that just came into my inbox this morning. I did not know this was happening. I got no advance notice. I wish I had. But I shared it earlier today, and I'm telling you about it now. Brian, Happy New Year. Stacy and Tara, Happy New Year, you guys. I'm super excited about this new year. So let me switch views. I've got my handy dandy bag holders. I have a link on where you can get those here on the video. And we're going to do these dump style dinners. Many of the meals that we have in My Freezy are this dump style where we're literally going to put protein and sauce, sometimes vegetables. Today we are not. We also suggest have this with a salad since there's no vegetables going in here with this. Make this with a salad, right? Or your favorite veggies. Let me switch gears here. There we go. Sorry about the bright lights. Let me try and hit those down. So this is what we're going to do. You guys see that okay? We're making Basil Balsamic chicken, which is a couple of ingredients. Boneless, skinless chicken breast. If you need to trim it up, do that. We are going to add those right into the bag. So start the timer now. I'm 3 minutes in. Even though this is a 5-minute meal, this will be less. I know it. So I'm going to do 3 chicken breasts because these are fairly decent size, and that's enough for us. You can do 4 small. The recipe says 4 small. We're going to do a 1/2 cup of balsamic vinegar. Use the cheap stuff unless you have a little extra money, and then get the good stuff. Let me move this over here a little bit. I want you to be able to see it, but I don't like those light glares. How about that? I'm sorry, I'm not very good at mirroring. Is that better? All right, so let's start with the chicken. I'm going to use just inexpensive balsamic vinegar. If you have money and you have the extra good stuff, then use that. So this is a 1/2 cup. This is Basil Balsamic chicken, right? So we need a lot of balsamic vinegar. Now here's what this vinegar is going to do. This vinegar is very acidic. It has a ton of great flavor, which is bonus number 1, right, is that it's got a ton of great flavor. But the real kicker with this balsamic vinegar is that it's so acidic, it's going to soften the chicken. So then when it bakes, it's not going to be like overly dry. I'm just adding about 2 tablespoons of olive oil. You do not need to mix this ahead of time. This is going to mix and all cook together later. We're going to bake this later. And then I'm going to add in here 2 teaspoons of basil, which my teaspoon measuring spoon is dirty, so I'm just using the tablespoon. All about improvising today. All right, so that is that. That's it. It's the 4 ingredients that are going in here. So we have boneless, skinless chicken breasts, a half a cup of balsamic vinegar, 2 tablespoons of olive oil, and 2 teaspoons of dried basil. That's it. Now, again, no veggies are going in with this particular meal. Usually with our dump style dinners, we don't do vegetables. You can serve that with side dish, or if you have like, you know, frozen broccoli or something like that, you could do that. So that meal took me 2 minutes to do. Typically with my Freezy also, we do 2 of the same meal at once. So typically I would make 2 chickens, but for the sake of today and wanting to show you 2 different types of recipes, I'm going to do 1 of each. So that's that. You can kind of mix that around and you can see how that's going to just marinate really nicely. So this goes into the freezer and then you can thaw it in the fridge, or you can thaw it in a bowl of warm water, and then you put this into a baking dish, bake it at 350 for 45 to 55 minutes. Kind of depends on how thick your chicken breasts are you want to cook them through, right? So that's basil balsamic chicken. The next one is the shredded Italian beef hoagies, and we are going to basically get the beef ready for the slow cooker, and we're going to freeze and slow cook the beef, right? So here's my beef roast. Tina, you do need some of these. They're super handy. Brian, the link is on the video. I put this in very awkwardly because I was not paying attention. Hang on a second. I was trying to read your comments and put this in the bag at the same time. That did not go well. Okay, that's better. So the bag holders we have in our shop, shopfreezeeasy.com. I have a link on the video. SHOP. Oh, Kim, thank you. You're a dear. Kim, Brian and Tina, Kim just dropped the link, shopfreezeeasy.com. We'll get them to the mail on you on Tuesday since there's no mail tomorrow. Okay, so the beef roast. This is a very similar dump style recipe. I'm going to do a little salt and pepper on this. I do not brown the, this is a beef roast. Yes, this is just a chuck roast, April. This is probably about maybe 2 1/4 pounds. I don't brown roasts that are going to go into the freezer. I basically slow cooker because of what we're putting in here. This is going to be super soft, and because we are slow cooking this, it's going to be super soft and very shreddable at the end. So what we're going to add here with this, if you're wondering about the bag holders, people are talking about, it's these. They fold flat, isn't that handy? We're going to add tomatoes, and tomatoes, just like that balsamic vinegar, are also really acidic. And they will help soften the meat as it thaws and as it cooks in the slow cooker. So this particular beef roast is going to cook in the slow cooker all day, 8 hours. If you're cooking it from partially frozen or frozen, you need to do at least 8 hours in the slow cooker. That is super important that if you're cooking from frozen. If you're cooking this from all the way thawed, completely thawed out, then you could probably do high for 4 hours or high for 6. But when I do shredded beef roast, I like to leave it in there as long as possible. So I always do 8 hours. So we're going to do crushed tomatoes. I'm doing a 15-ounce can. I'm doing half of this bigger can. And then I am going to add, the recipe doesn't say garlic, but I'm going to sneak in a little garlic because why not? Teaspoon of garlic. And then we're going to do a combo of thyme, oregano, and basil for an Italian seasoning blend. So let me get that out real quick. And then this is going to go into the freezer just like this. I'm just going to do about equal parts of each one of these. About a tablespoon. And this beef will then slow cook with this amazing sauce. If you wanted to add some minced onions, you could. You could doctor this up a little bit more, but I'm trying to keep it really simple because there will be more flavor. The beef and the tomatoes and the Italian seasonings will all be really a great flavor. And also, once this is finished, can you see that in there? Is that, yeah, it's sort of better. I'm going to block that light there. Once this is finished in the slow cooker, you can shred the beef into the sauce. You might need to pull off some, depending on the beef roast, sometimes you have to pull off a little bit of fat when it's done cooking. So I just get my little tongs or my pinchers and pull the fat off and then shred it all up. And then you can serve it onto a hoagie style bun, I don't know, I get them at the bakery. They're like 25 cents a piece. hoagie style bun, and then some sliced provolone cheese would be fantastic with this beef. So that's how you end up with the hoagie. You can freeze sliced cheese. It's not my favorite thing to do. I freeze shredded cheese a lot more often than I freeze sliced cheese. But if you buy the cheese and you buy the buns and you're like, oh, wait, I'm not going to make this until a week or two from now, you can freeze both of them and use them later. If you are going to freeze the sliced cheese, you might stick a piece of parchment or wax paper in between them just to make it easier to pull them apart as they've thawed. So Kim asks, is it better to use dried herbs as opposed to fresh? I just prefer to use dried herbs when I'm doing freezer meals. If you were making this fresh, you could absolutely do fresh herbs. They don't hold up quite as well with going into the freezer. It's just different. They have a different texture after they've been fresh to frozen to sauce. So I prefer dried, but you could certainly do fresh if you wanted to. All right, so I said I started at 3 minutes and it's 11 minutes in. I made these 2 meals. So let me do a quick recap for you. Let me mix this up a little first. Usually what I do with these is I mix the sauce up and then I press out all the air. If you have a vacuum sealer and you want to use one, you can do that, but I typically just do that number. So quick recap of what we did. Let me get these repositioned so you can see them better. Let's see here. Y'all, I'm really not good at this whole mirroring business. I'm trying to block those bright lights too. Okay, so this is what we did in the last 8 minutes. We made 2 meals for the freezer. These are dump style recipes from My Freezeezy. And I'm also really excited because of the Zaycon Fresh deal. More on that in a second. So with these meals, we did boneless, skinless chicken breasts with a half a cup of balsamic vinegar, 2 tablespoons of olive oil, and 2 teaspoons of dried basil. We're going to let this go into the freezer just like this. You can thaw it, and then we're going to bake it. Because we're baking this one, I highly recommend that you thaw it completely in your fridge or in a bowl of water in your fridge. So you get those nice and thaw, so then you don't have to bake them longer and dry them out. The balsamic vinegar will really soften this up. It's a really flavorful, fantastic baked chicken that's going to be soft and not dried out. Just follow the baking directions on the recipe. And next we did the shredded Italian beef hoagies, and we are freezing the beef roast with crushed tomatoes, a little bit of balsamic vinegar. Did I add the balsamic? I think I forgot to add the balsamic vinegar. I'll add it here in a second. I think I forgot to add that. Maybe I didn't. Do you guys remember? Did I add the balsamic vinegar? Too bad we can't go back and watch it while it's live. I don't think we did. I'm going to sneak some in. I was supposed to. Add balsamic vinegar. I'm just going to add 2 tablespoons of balsamic vinegar just to deepen up that sauce of the tomato sauce. And then we did Italian seasoning as well. You could do a little garlic. You could do a little onion. Just a really simple sauce that the beef roast is going to slow cook the day away in. And then when it's finished cooking, you can shred it up and then serve it onto that's better. That's better. You can serve it onto hoagie buns, kind of like Subway buns, bolillo rolls. If you're around here in Texas, we have bolillo rolls everywhere with some slices. Would be great. You guys, thank you. I'm glad I just added it real quick. I do have the video, so you can actually see the start to finish recipe, see what that looks like. So yeah, this is a beef. You could do a beef chuck roast or a round roast, Brian. Either one of those would work. I tend to do the cheaper cuts of roast when we're doing freezer meals and when we're doing slow cooker meals because they just do really well from now into the freezer and then onto your dinner table. They do really well. That type of the more inexpensive cuts of the beef roast. So that's that. That's what I wanted to share with you. This is my 5-minute meal show where I'm telling you or showing you, demonstrating for you how to get meals into the freezer very quickly with our dump style recipes. So real quick before we hop off, the Zaycon. If you are new to Zaycon Fresh, let me explain it to you real quickly. It is a bulk meat purchasing service. I call it the drive-through meat market because you order ahead and then you go and you pick it up at a specific location on a specific date that they tell you. So the chicken breast right now is $1.48 a pound for good quality, great chicken breasts. I've been ordering them for years, like 9, I think. I think it's 8 or 9 years now. Anyways, They have the $1.48 a pound chicken and tomorrow. And so I want you to know about that. The link here on more information is on the video. You can check that out with the code to get that deal is there on that link. And I highly recommend it. I actually just did 80 pounds of ground beef. If you missed that, I did that last week. I don't even know where we are. The holiday has me all, yeah, last week. It was a week, 2 weeks ago, and last week I did 80 pounds of ground beef, and then I have another 40 pounds of chicken coming, and our pickup is in March. So if you order now, you'll pick up in late February, early March, depending on your region. So there is a little bit of delay, but plenty of time to kind of plan out what the meals you want to get together. This Basil Balsamic chicken is perfect. You saw how easy that was, right? You could do like 4 of those, and then you've knocked out 16 of your chicken breasts, right? If you're doing 4 chicken breasts per meal. So anyways, just want to share that with you. Check that out. Great price. It doesn't come along very often. So low for 8 hours in the slow cooker, guys. Thanks for asking. That's what I know. Recipes are here on the video. I will see you guys in the new year. I got big news tomorrow, and I'm going to come tell you tomorrow night. Happy New Year. Have a great and fun and safe and delicious time celebrating tonight, and we will see you again very soon.